and welcome to Joel Marshall's live stream podcast. I am trying something today, which is to be a bat. It is a concept that I'm working on now, working very hard for an up-and-coming Instagram project. So I'm trying this out. Hi, I'm a bat. I want to be someone's pet. I want some humans for myself to mold in my likeness. I see all the dogs and the cats, and they have their humans, and I want some for my own. Now, I am a vampire bat, and unfortunately, us vampire bats, we get a lot of trouble because the only way that we can survive is by drinking the blood. And sometimes that makes people scared of us. And I'm here to tell you that we drink the blood of the cow, usually. Usually it's just a cow. Sometimes it is a goat or a chicken. But generally we hang around and are very furry like a little mouse. Like a mouse or a cat or a dog. In fact, if you look at us very closely, we look a little like a little dog, a little chihuahua. And so I just want to advocate that if you're looking for a pet, you might want to get a bat. Now, there's one problem with the bat, is that people think that the bats cause diseases and viruses, and there was something very bad recently about this virus that the humans are having, and someone said that it came from a bat. Well, it didn't. From what I understand, it came from a pig. That's what I'm saying. And there are people that have pets as pigs. I'm not putting down pigs. George Clooney apparently had a very nice pig, from what I understand, but it got very, very big, very big. Pigs get big, especially if you feed them human food, and they eat a lot. And they're very close to humans. That's why apparently the disease was given by the pig. So I'm just hanging around, waiting for... And the thing is, I can't even go to one of these animal hospital foster cares because I am a bat. There's a lot of bat discrimination. How many people do you know that have bats? Not very many. So I want to get in on this free food. And if you know any humans that want a bat, send them my way. Okay? All right, thank you very much. This has been an ad for bats. Okay, this is the Joel Marshall stand-up show. And it's great to be here. Get my camera. So that was my bat. I mean, it's a new character that I'm working on for the groundlings or the UCB or because I got to get myself a job and get out of this streaming business because my internet is letting me down. I'm not doing the streaming. This time I'm just going to upload it. Usually we have a chat room. I take suggestions from the chat room. But today we're doing some bat impersonations. At the top of the show, I showed you the Zoom introduction, which was a show back in the day, let's say, that a lot of us watched. It was very informative, and it was just a good time, really, because the message of Zoom. I don't know if you caught this from the video. Let's take a look at it again, real quick.
Bernadette. My name's
Bernadette, that was the one. That was the one that got us talking yesterday because she does this thing. And you know, if you'll notice, each one of them has their own individual thing. There's some of it is a little bit typecasting these days, but that's not really a cool thing anymore. But they, they each have their individual skills that they provide, and that's the way the world is. That's what they're trying to tell you: is who are you? Who are you? What do you do? It's a good message to kids. I mean, it's not like, what do you do? Or it's not even like, so what do you do? No, it's like, who are you? And what do you do? It's a question that I ask myself a lot. Because I'm not sure. There are a lot of people out there that are just not sure what they do. I mean, I do stand-up. And I'm an actor. But I also, fix computers. So it's confusing sometimes. There's not like one thing that you do. I mean, some people, they take care of their kids and they are also a doctor. I want to send a shout out to my brother and sister-in-law because they're on the front lines. I don't like to talk too much about the coronavirus in this because this is lunch therapy. This is a break. I just want to shout out to them because what do? They take care of people. And that's cool. That's a cool thing. That's a really cool thing to do, and it's really much appreciated. When I was a kid, my dad actually sat me on his knee and told me something really important. My dad said, "Joel, I'm going to teach you the secret to life." And I was like, wow, this is important. I was like 3, so I was kind of not really even questioning really what the secret to life was at the moment. But he sat me down on his knee. He's going to tell me. I better listen. And this is good advice, too, because my dad is a metalsmith. He's an artist. He has provided for us since his entire life. They have a house. And, my mom, they've had a marriage that's lasted 60 years plus. And they put 2 kids through college, all from being an artist. So this is good advice. He said, Joel, you got to find something that you really want to be and just be that. And I thought, Tweety Bird. So yeah, I went out and got the Tweety Bird mask. And I had a Tweety Bird onesie that I wore, just a yellow onesie. And I went around being Tweety Bird wherever I went. And I don't think my brother liked it very much. Having Tweety Bird following him around everywhere he goes. And, one day I woke up and the whole Tweety Bird costume was gone. Yeah. But I realized in that moment that I didn't need it anymore. I could be Tweety Bird on the inside. And that's what I've been doing. I've been being Tweety Bird on the inside. And it's going pretty darn well, I'll tell you that. Pretty well. I moved down to Los Angeles, of course. Became an actor. When I got to Los Angeles, actually, it was like a revelation in how unimportant I could be. Because, you come from your hometown and you're like, you got your friends. They all know you. Everybody knows you. Maybe you go to college. Maybe not as many people know you, but generally people know you. You move to Los Angeles and you're just like, what the hell is going on here? There's just all these people. And when you were growing up, you were kind of unique. You were like, doing some of this stuff. And people were like, wow. Or the other trick that I used to do was this one. which is a pretty good one. I mean, it feels like you're cracking your knuckles, but you're not. So I came down here. There's a ton of people. They're just like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah. People already doing it. Already. It's not special. You got to come up with something more special than that. Everybody does this, Everybody does that already. So, you got to find some more skills. And I've been working on my skill set. I don't know if you guys consider yourself having a skill set, but you got to have one. You got to have them. You got to always be ready. Well, what about this? What about this? What about this? I've been doing a lot of meditation lately. One thing that I've learned about meditation is I'm a little crazy, right? Because when you meditate, you're just there with your thoughts and no one else. And those thoughts, they come in and they start telling you stuff. And some of this stuff is not very productive. I'll tell you that. And sometimes you don't realize it's there when you're just going around in life. But when you sit quietly, they start coming in. And you try and focus on your breath. They keep coming in. And they're like, hey, what are you doing sitting there? You should be out doing something. Are you lazy? What the heck's going on? And they just kind of float by. You lazy piece of crap. And so, I guess the objective of meditating is to say, shut up. Or maybe change change the voice to something else. Like, hey, look at you sitting there doing your meditation. How cool is that? I love meditation. Somehow you have to inform that little guy. And so that starts to feel a little crazy. Like you're crazy. And I probably am. I wonder if most comedians are crazy and it's just kind of fun to watch the insanity unfold. That could be. Could be. I don't know. So yeah, I got to Los Angeles and I got a job right away, just immediately, right off the bat. And I don't want to brag or anything because, the acting business is tough. But for me, I was just lucky. Just totally lucky. Fresh off the boat, I got myself a job as Bugs Bunny at Magic Mountain. Yeah. It's like instant fame. And that kind of fame, when it hits you, you're a lot of times not ready for it. Just ask anybody. Ask Tweety Bird. And then also, there I was being Tweety Bird already. And now I had to be Bugs Bunny. And how can I do that? Because I already chose Tweety Bird early on. So what am I going to do? You know what I did? I just put on the costume, put on the Bugs Bunny costume, and realized that, yes, I could be Tweety Bird on the inside and still be walking around as Joel Marshall. But now I could be Tweety Bird on the inside, walk around as Joel Marshall, and be Bugs Bunny on top of that. It's a simple formula. It's a simple formula. And you can do that in your life too. Whatever you do. If you're let's say you're a nurse. You can be a nurse, but on the inside you could still be yourself. And then deeper down, you could be Speedy Gonzalez. If you want to be. And that's just an example. So I got that job and I realized a lot of things. I learned a lot about fame. Fame is not what it's cracked up to be. I'll tell you that. These are some things that I learned because when you're famous, because a lot of you are going to be famous, especially with the way things are going. Andy Warhol said everybody's famous for 15 minutes. I think it's getting faster and faster than that. I think that already happened. That's like the past. So when you do get famous, just remember these things. People will grab your crotch. Yeah, I think the president, he doesn't know, he's famous, obviously famous, infamous perhaps, depending on who you are. He doesn't understand that when you're famous, people grab your crotch, you don't grab other people's crotches. It's just not right. But yeah, if you're famous, people feel like they own you. So they will just go for it. And not only that, they'll sometimes just punch you in the face. Because as I got more sophisticated with being Bugs Bunny, I started to branch out. They were like, we got to give this guy some other characters to play, because in the first, maybe the second year, I was costume character of the year. Yeah, I don't want to brag or anything, but that was a big one. And so I got to be costume character of the year. And then they allowed me to be Wile E. Coyote as well. And so, when you're Wile E. Coyote, people think you're indestructible. So you're just, you're tooling around Magic Mountain, and you got they got these big feet. If you're Wile E. Coyote at Magic Mountain, you got these big feet. They're made out of wood. They're made out of wood, and they're really heavy. But you know what's good about that? Is if somebody punches you, because people push you in the nose, hurt your neck, kick you, grab your tail, people will pull your tail if you're famous. There's whoa, all of a sudden. But if they do that, you have these giant wooden boxes for feet, so you can kick the crap out of them. I'm not advocating abuse of amusement park patrons, but it's just good to know if they are abusing you, then you have that to go to as a go-to. And, when you're famous, it's the same thing. If you're some other, character, if you're Lady Gaga or something, look at Lady Gaga sometime. You'll see she's got big old wooden shoes on a lot, because she knows. Whack. I don't know if anybody out there has been a costume character before. The only celebrity costume character that I know of was Deborah Winger. Deborah Winger was I believe she was a troll, also at Magic Mountain. Before they had the Warner Brothers characters, they had trolls, the Magic Mountain trolls. And she was one of those, I guess. So if anybody can tell me of other celebrities that used to be costume characters, I'd love to know. We don't have our chat room today because the whole live streaming thing is just not happening from this house, I'll tell you that. People get on real early, I guess, and start Netflixing these days. They start knocking back the gin and Netflixing. I think it starts around 9 o'clock. Because that's when my internet speed starts going down. And those people are just knocking it back. Bunch of Todd Lees hanging out here. Todd Lee is a guy that I went to college with who's often in the chat room. And that was just a shout out to old Todd. I also want to give a shout out to my cat, Charlie Brown, for being such an emotional support animal. He's a certified emotional support animal. I don't know if you guys, a lot of people think that's a joke, but Charlie Brown, he takes it very seriously. He's a kind of a portly little fellow. He's not going to watch this, I don't think. He's not really a YouTuber yet, but he's cuddly. So whenever you're, especially like when I'm watching the press conference and I know that the orange guy is going to get up there and say some really infuriating things just to make me mad, or he's going to attack some kind of reporter or something like that. I got Charlie Brown. I just squeeze him on in tight. I bring him in and say, Charlie, we're going to be hunkering here for a little while. I hope that the cats never start their own Me Too movement, because that could really be terrible. Because we are sort of, privileged in this time to just be able to pick up a cat and just start hugging it. I mean, obviously we're not going to molest a cat, but there's a lot of hugging going on. Sometimes they're like trying to get away. Sometimes my other cat, Machito, sometimes he wants hugging, sometimes he doesn't. So they're all trying to get away. I just wonder if at some point there's going to be a movement and there's going to be some indictments. Some people up on hugging charges. Those cats will be on the stand just telling us what for, talking about different stories. And you don't know. Maybe, with all the artificial enhancements that are coming along, you don't know, the cats might start talking. I think that if the cats started talking, we'd have a lot of cat lawsuits out there. Some cat suits. Not the kind that they wear on Batman, Kind of brings us back around to the Batman. Maybe you guys can let me know if you think the Batman character is going to fly. That's a dad pun, I guess. I didn't mean to say it, but that's what it is. So yeah, let me know about Bat Guy. Maybe a name for him. You can put it in the comments. You can Periscope me, Twitter me. You can YouTube friend me or send me a Quibi. What do you think about those Quibis? Apparently, I've seen these ads for Quibis. They're like shows that take place in short periods of time, and we're supposed to watch them. And I don't know. Do you think it's going to fly? Do you think we're going to have Quibis everywhere? My tendency is to say no. No Quibis. I don't see people watching Quibis on their phone. Just like, hey, I'm standing in line. I think I'll take a look at a Quibi. I just don't think that's going to happen. But I could be wrong. Back in the day, I was very wrong. My friend and I, we before there was YouTube, we said, hey, maybe we should put videos on the internet. And we told other people about it. We're like, we would like to put videos on the internet. And they were like, what? Are you nuts? See, the thing about me is I'm always like a little too ahead of my time. People are always worried about missing the boat. Missing, that phrase, missing the boat. I touch my face, by the way. I probably do that a lot. I'll wash my hands. I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going anywhere. So, you missed the boat. The boat came, you missed it. I tend to just try to get on the boat before it shows up. And I usually just face plant right into the water. That's what I did with videos online. My friend and I, we decided, in fact, we had a meeting. We went to a bar and we were like, what are we going to do with our careers? And we sat down at this table and we took a piece of paper and we drew a box on it. And we both looked at it. We were like, yep, let's do it. Let's do it. So we got a website. We learned how to code for the web. We got a thing. We got Premiere to edit videos. We got scripts. We got actors. We got cameras. We shot these things. And we found out it's really hard to put video on the internet when everybody has 56K modems. So, but we decided after a while that all we could do was like still pictures. So instead, we took still pictures of these scenes of actors. And I mean, it was pretty hilarious. Our first show was called Love Boulevard. I'll sing a little bit. Too bad Kevin's not here. He would love it. He would love to sing this along with me, but I'll just sing it. Love Boulevard is a happy little place where lots of happy people can come around and meet. I don't even know. Love Boulevard is a happy little street where lots of happy people, they can come and down and meet. I don't know. It goes something like that. Anyway, I'll maybe put a clip from it next time on Lunch Therapy. Thanks for joining me. This is the end of Lunch Therapy. And next time, I don't know if we're going to continue doing the live streaming because it's so bad. My upload speeds are so bad that I think maybe I'm just going to take suggestions before the show. Or maybe you can make comments and say, next time I'd like you to talk about this. But we'll figure it out. It's evolving. It's constantly evolving. I'm going to leave you guys with a little Zoom. And I hope you join me next time on Lunch Therapy.